Hey y'all, this is Trent Knox with the Trent Knox Show, back with another episode after quite a bit of a break. The reason why I am doing this podcast, the Trent Knox Show, episode 62, I believe, Confidence versus Insecurity, is because I have found recently that I have been living my life out of sorts. And I don't necessarily know yet what to be in sorts means. Uh, I've been, I've seen psychologists, I've seen soothsayers, I've participated in a lot of different mental health activities, but I haven't yet found something that really speaks to me and gives me the impression that I'm actually growing and that I will be a better person in the long run from the counseling or whatever that these quote unquote experts know. I feel like obviously those people don't interact with the same people or understand every sort of group dynamic or individual or society, whatever it is, those soothsayers, psychiatrists, counselors, administration, whatever it is. They have their expertise, and I haven't been able to find an expert that knows anything about my situation. There's always some sort of contradiction. There's always some reason why that person doesn't understand the dynamic of the external activities that are going on in my life outside of the interaction with that expert. Yikes. Uh, Confidence was something that Kanye West had expressed he had lost during his episodes of psychosis. And I feel like I'm trying to figure out the balance between confidence and insecurity. With the relationships and interactions that I've been having with so-called friends, so-called colleagues, so-called employers, people that don't, people that are new relationships, people that don't know who I was or who I am or who I will be, don't know my motivations, don't know whether I'm a good person, a bad person, a positive person, a negative person. They're trying to figure out the person that I am. And then there may be bad actors or people that don't have my interest or think they know me, influencing the new relationships. And especially people who feel like they were they were burned by me in some way, or that I don't understand their emotions and their feelings, and that something that I did was created some sort of negativity in their lives. And what I've realized is many times those people who feel like I have burned them or I have done something to offend them, they don't go to me to resolve the issue. They go to friends, family, anyone other than me to address that issue. So ultimately, I'm left with being unaware of what I may or may not have done. As a result, for one good example of this is, and I'll buy it that technology has kind of created this problem, is that with my interactions with girls that I'm attracted to, or that I flirt with, or whatever, which is very, very seldom, maybe more than others, but in my opinion of my life, I haven't really gone out of my way to attract women over the phone, in person, online, offline. I haven't gone out of my way to communicate with a girl to entice her or seduce her into her, meaning like the general term, any girl, to be in any sort of relationship, whether that's a friendship, like a romantic relationship, any sort of relationship. I don't put a lot of time or effort into something that, in my personal opinion, and I'm realizing that there are a lot of different types of romantic relationships that is just like monetary or transactional, where you go on a date as a man, you cover the costs, a traditional man, not this new sorts of relationships that are not what's the word for single partner, but multiple partner, all these different other new relationships, sorts of relationships that aren't a man and a woman, just one man, just one woman together, but all sorts of other different relationships. I've now been in all kinds of different relationships, some that I didn't even know I was in. Like, it's like the other person, the people on the other end of the relationship are claiming a sort of relationship that wasn't that I didn't know or wasn't aware of. And this partly goes into that issue that with employment and the way that people understand or how experienced they are in business, in personal relationships, in romantic relationships, in group relationships, in societal relationships, their affiliations with a certain mantra, ideology, the way that they perceive the world, what they know is right and what they know is wrong. It kind of, these things start to create distances between individuals, and maybe the perspective in a moment of time will make someone make them think something different than the reality or the way that I perceive the world. And so when your name, and this is some of the insecurity part of this podcast, when your name is dragged through the mud without you being privy to the conversations, it leads someone to believe that there's a source from where the problem initiated, and in order to end that thing, that problem, you have to address that person directly. And in many times, what I have done and what I want to not do in the future is address that person publicly, or privately with someone other than them. Those two things to me are egregious and outright disrespectful. For instance, let's say I have a problem with person A, and I say person A is, and I don't say this about them, this is something that I'm speculating. This is my opinion. This is what I hold to be true. Personally, inside, this is my inner conversation. Person A has been cheating on their girlfriend, has been leading a life that I don't agree with. Not a lifestyle that I am not that I don't find to be honest and have high integrity. That I believe that person is creating chaos. That person is bringing negativity to the world. That person is doing disrespectful things. That person is not the person that I believe to be a good, great, or superior person. And I believe that to be true, that this person is not a good person. And then I choose to go to someone behind the scenes. I choose to go to someone behind the scenes, a person that has a connection to me and to the other person, and tell them how much of a piece of crap that person is, or how much of a bad person, a negative person, that person A is. And I tell this to person B. Or that's one problem that I'm trying to resolve in my life, is that I go to someone else before I go to person A directly in a private setting. The second thing that I think I want to resolve is going to a larger format group like the internet or online and airing all the dirty business of person A prior to speaking to person A directly. I don't know why. I don't know why these things happen. They happen to me. They happen to me. I assume I may be doing it. I don't necessarily know how I'm doing it. I'm trying to figure that out. If I am speaking out of turn, if I am not going directly to the source of the problem and addressing the issue to them directly. I think in one circumstance right now, this is the problem. The issue is that let's say person A allowed person B, C, D, E to speak negatively about me without them addressing or bringing up positive things about me within those when those people were talking. And so then when I hear from person D that there's a problem, I'm going to try and figure out where the source of that problem is. So when person D is speaking negatively about me, I would assume this person D was the person that created the negativity. And then realizing that no, he claims person C did it, I go to person C and say, person C, I heard you were talking negatively about me. What are some of the things that I'm doing that you disagree with? And he says, well, I was just, following along with the group mentality of speaking negatively about you. But I heard it from person B. Okay. Person B, have you been speaking negatively about me? And if you have been speaking negatively about me, what are the problems that you see in me speaking? What is my problem? What is it? What issue do you have with me? Person B relates and says the same thing that person C says. I don't really have a problem with you, but I want to be a part of the group, so I'm going to speak negatively about you. I don't want to be left out of the situation. Okay, person B, who did you hear this negativity from? And where's the source of the negativity that you got it from? Well, I got it from person D. So I go back to person D. Person D says it's not person D, it's person C. Person C then says, I think I may have heard it from person A. Now person A is the root of the cause. So go to person A, and he wants to claim person D, C, and B. Now there's a lot of just disruption in the cause. And then person D, C, and B turn all on person A. And person A cannot get out of a situation where he said something negative and he created the problem. He created the problem. He's the source of the issue. So person A, what's your problem? Please address the issue and let me know what you think is the problem with me. What is it that I did not take care of? What was it that I fell short on? What is it that you dislike about me? If it has something to do with being more productive, being a better person, being able to speak and correlate with people, if I'm just a better person than you are, maybe you should learn something from me. Maybe you should listen to what I have to say, and we can correct any sort of issue you have in your life. There's probably a reason why you are the root of the issue in continual relationships with other people. And that is the person that I may be. I may be person A. But I cannot seem to figure out where that I know you are, but what am I childish attitude is coming from. I don't know, because I limit my conversations very, very highly to very specified people. I don't speak with my family that much. I don't speak with old friends. I don't speak with new friends. I don't speak with anyone. I speak online. I speak online. But that's never directly to anyone specifically. It's literally me speaking to myself, essentially, because I have no viewership. I have nobody is responding or commenting on my videos. Nobody is participating. I haven't built up a tribe. I haven't done anything that would lead someone to believe that I am directly communicating with anyone, or that anyone is communicating with me, or has any ulterior motives. Or from time to time, there are people who my name comes up in a conversation, whether that's, in a business format, personal format, whatever that format is. I don't think a lot of people have a lot of information or resources on who I am or what I am to be. And I don't think that there's enough information to be negative or positive, for that matter. And it really disrupts me. It's truth. It disrupts me to think that anything I'm doing has been negative. Maybe it's neutral. I have a very neutral perspective in the world. When I hear other people speak positively or negatively about things, or vice versa, speak negatively and speak positively about things, I have a very neutral approach. I don't think about what is right, what is wrong, other than when I know something to be wrong or know something to be right. I don't think murder is right. However, if that person's been stabbing a bunch of people repeatedly, and then he's, murdered 6 to 7 people himself, I think it might be all right for a good Samaritan to murder that person. That may not be the right thing, and I don't know. Maybe the right thing is to lock that person up for eternity. Maybe the right thing to do is, I don't know what the right thing to do is, and I live on edge, thinking about these things, because I know for a fact that the society I grew up in is not utopia. It's not, it's not that world where everyone is good and everyone's bad. It's not it's not the story fairy tale world. There's no rhyme or reason for a lot of things happening, and then that's the tragic nature of humanity, is that many times things just seem to happen for no apparent reason. And I would like to figure out why my relationships, because of confidence and insecurity, have resulted in being short-term relationships. I've never, aside from obviously family, like legitimately family. I haven't had long-term relationships. Um, I seem to have a lot of long-term relationships with people that I just really don't give a shit about. Like I don't care about them. Like I don't, they don't make me feel, they don't make me feel any type of way. I have no desires for them. Like I don't need them. I don't want them. I don't need them. Someone else who needs them or wants them can have them. You know, the things that I need and I want, I seem to not be able to hold or possess for longer than 3 to 4 months. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know the reason. I think that I think that when you want something and you have no reason, it's a problem. I know the reason why I want a good, great, superior job, because I want to establish myself. I want to be respected. I want to I want to be able to make my family proud. I want to be able to help others. I want to give back what I've taken. I want to be able to replenish things. I want to be able to recycle. I want to, and the why, but behind why I want a beautiful wife, why I want to have beautiful children, why I want pets, why I want a fancy car, why I want to have a lot of money, why I want to have a nice computer, why I want to have materialistic things, because I want to impress others, because, and this is the why, because I want to make myself feel good. I want to make myself feel great. I want to boost levels of serotonin in my brain. I want to enjoy life. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to possess things in this finite time that I have in this reality, on this plane of existence. And I have no conception of the world after. There's not a single person in the world that has evolved or risen to a higher level of consciousness that doesn't realize that the reality we live in is finite. No one has become so enlightened that they have become not subject to the constraints of the reality we live in, and became obtained infinite life, and obtained royalty from peasantry. No one has achieved this. Everyone we know, Michael Jackson, Little Peep, all of these people who we idolize, or whatnot, or someone else that's an idol that Steve Jobs. Who else do I not give a crap about that's an idol, that has become an idol, died from cancer, some sort of drug overdose or something like that, and it has just goes to show you the finite amount of time we have on this world. There's no security to be garnered from knowing that you will die one day, that there is a expiration date on the person that you are, and that you never know when that date will come. I mean, you can do your best to be safe, live in, a climate that doesn't have a lot of, live in a place that's safe, location with people. Just do whatever you can to not put yourself into high risk. The problem with that is high risk means high reward. In many circumstances, you risk a lot of money on the craps table or blackjack or Texas Hold'em or any sort of gambling opportunity, and you say if you actually hit if you actually if everything lines up and you get the best odds on that game and you win and you bet them the maximum amount, the highest reward is available to you. The issue is that you gotta figure out the playing field and see what statistically is gonna be the most efficient way to win and win continually. You have to understand the game. You got to understand the rule set. You got to understand the history. You got to understand what the coding and how people can manipulate the coding, hack the coding, and change the reality in a situation. You have to be a winner in order to win. You have to have high level of confidence in order to win. Or at the very least, leave the table with the same amount of money that you began with, or utilizing something that that Jeff Bezos coins as regret minimization factor, and that I hear Dan Bilzerian talk about, is leaving the table before you've lost exponential amount of capital. It's highly acceptable to sit at a table. Let's say $100,000 is on the table, and you put $100,000 in, another person puts $100,000 in, and you play till where you won maybe $25,000 from the person sitting next to you. You won $50,000 from the house, so you're at $175,000. You lose that $75,000 back to the house. And you determine that after losing $75,000 back to the house and you're at $100,000, that you play in, for the love of the game, another $25,000. And then you step up from the table and you walk away. You gave the house $25,000. Maybe the person next to you took a 10 out of... Maybe you gave them 15. The house gets 15. The person sitting next to you gets 10 of what they got back. Of your initial $100,000. So you have 75. It's highly acceptable to stand up from that table and stand there and watch as the person that is greedy, is a degenerate, is an absolute piece of garbage to the world, lose all $110,000 to the house. Because that person is manipulating something that they never were. They're not native to. They're not part of the initial development of. They don't know what the system will do to them. They don't understand the investment you know? And then it is a big difference between the person who only has 100,000 and is sitting at the table and the person who has 5,000 and put 100,000 in. You know, this goes to the biggest flexers out there. Your Floyd Mayweathers, your Dan Bilzerians, your you know your 50 Cents, Curtis Jacksons, uh, your Gary V's. You get my point. The people out there that are known flexers, they flex on people that come from uh, that are not as successful in life or don't or come from a lower economic background. And these individuals may not be sponsoring or helping out with the society or giving enough back to charity uh, to counterbalance the negativity that is seen as them being greedy, good for nothing, philanderers, charlatans, snake oil salesmen, bullshit artists, um, misogynists, all of that negativity that gets spewed towards people who are playing the game. I just think that we can do better as a society at balancing the game. I think that it's heavily leaned toward what everybody is complaining about, that uh it the game leans towards the white Anglo-Saxon American and the the attractive person, the unattractive person. It's so circumstantial that it doesn't really it doesn't really have anything to do with like diversity. Diversity isn't really held to that high of respect. I think that, and what I mean is diversity in character, not in diversity in opinion. Diversity in character isn't that high. I mean, opinion is, like, a lot of people hold in high regard, your sexual orientation, which is an opinion, your gender affiliation is an opinion, the really reality of what things should and shouldn't be is an opinion, but factuals and characteristics of what it comes out of your mother's womb, or your father's sexual organ, and into your wife's or woman's sexual organ, is the reality, like the ones and zeros, like down to the core. That's what is true. When the observation of the sane individual, I would assume, or the system dictates what is the reality. No opinion is developed until someone disagrees with what is the reality. And maybe, I don't know. I mean, people thought that certain other colors of skin were inferior, and then that changed. But I don't think I know anything about people. I just know what is right for me, and that's not my opinion, that's my fact. The fact, and I hate it when people want to assume that I have an opinion about my own life, and that's not, that they have some way of changing that fact in my life by, bombarding me with, bombarding me with things that I don't find appealing or attractive or desirable. Things that I don't find desirable. Why do I have to desire diet soda or desire? Why should I have to desire things that aren't good now? They're not good now. Maybe they'll be good in the future, but let me decide. Let me stumble upon. Let me find out what is good and what isn't good. Let me do that. Let us determine what is good and what isn't good. No one needs to tell me whether homosexuality is for me or for another person. I determine that. I determine whether I want to see homosexuality in my reality, or if I want to participate in homosexuality. Or let me get out of the homosexuality thing. Let me get into the binary reality versus non-binary reality. Whether a post-op transsexual is desirable to me or not. I know that's convoluted, and in this day and age, the way that we manipulate the way that surgeons manipulate the world, and aestheticians are able to make things, and surgeons and doctors are able to manipulate vocal cords and essentially break down the human characteristics at a scientific level, and develop and essentially create something that is not native to the reality that existed prior to what they developed and manipulated from humanity. See, it seems like people really dislike the science fiction, aliens, splicing, animal abuse, but they seem to at least online and some bit in terrestrial television, they hold in high regard these people that are, they're not the thing that they were native. They're not the thing that they were born as, or they came into this world as. But it's weird. It's weird how we say this is okay, but this isn't okay. And these things are the same, but they're contradictory. The opinions on these things are contradictory. It's not okay to become an animal, or it's not okay to have intercourse with an animal like a monkey or something like that, because scientifically blah blah happens. But then on the other hand, it's okay to become a monkey, and if this person used to be a human but now he's a monkey, he got monkey DNA spliced in with him and now he's a monkey human. It's okay to have sex with the monkey human, but it's not okay to have sex with a monkey or dragon or a rat or, oh my god, whatever. Like, everyone's gonna break this down and think that it has anything to do with anything else, and I'm trying to be as direct and as specific as possible. And I think that, yes, what I do say may derive from the observation of other human beings, and maybe that opinion does derive from those human beings, whether they're popular or not popular, whether they're in the limelight or they're not in the limelight, and whether I find them to be, whether they are what they are, because I have dropped a few names in this podcast, whether I believe them to be, whether I believe it to be true or not, or if it's, something like Brad Paisley, I'm way cooler online type thing, where everything's photoshopped and it's not reality. It's someone sitting behind their computer, like myself right now, manipulating the screen so that you see like a dragon instead of a human being, or if you see a rodent, or you see a bear, or you see a crocodile, or a reptilian, or an Anunnaki, or you see a Palladian, or you see Neo from the Matrix, or you see whatever I see, you see, Mary Mott see. Oh my gosh. Like, reality is that how does someone find the confidence and the security to make a name for themselves that they don't have to rely on other people to, hold on. What I mean is, how does someone make a name for themselves without, okay, I don't think it is. I don't think it's possible to make a name for yourself without the help of others. I was just trying to break down, like, a Jay-Z or a Michael Jordan or a Barack Obama or George Washington or a John Carver or a Benjamin Franklin or an Abraham Lincoln. They all had some sort of affiliation or relationship with someone who had already had a name for themselves. You can't see, at least in the eye of the larger society, there's no way without having some sort of network or influence network connecting you to get the attention or exposure of the majority, instead of this like small micro influence that you might have, with the people that you connected with when you were growing up, or as an adolescent, or as a teenager into your young adulthood, and then into your middle age, and then your elderly people out there that are influencers, like Joan Rivers, or your Golden Girls, or your Steve Harvey, or the elder statesmen of the world. You can't do that without being connected to some sort of person that was successful prior to you. You need a mentor, you need a guide, you need some sort. Nobody's just born into the world with into popularity without having been, come from somewhere. Whether that you have a father of royal blood, or you have a mother of entertainment fame, or you have to have some sort of social connection to the matrix in order to be successful within the matrix, or this world that we live in, whatever you want to call it, the simulation, the singularity, the binarity, or the non-binarity, or the whatever you want to, whatever, and maybe I'm just rambling until maybe I come up with something that's smart out of nowhere, and then that people, jump on the wagon of whatever that thing is that I said it was smart, and then the popularity grows from there. But I mean, I'm just really trying to just really break down why people, the why. I'm really trying to break down the why. The motivations behind the reasons the why behind the why, and the reason behind the reason. The ultimate grab on reality. Everybody goes around asking people, how did you obtain success? How did you garner the following that you have? What the tools that you use? What was it that put you in the position that you are in today? Who was your mentor? Who did you look up to? What was it that you idolized? And when did you realize that it was going to be, that you were going to be successful at doing what you do? And I'm waiting for that day. I'm waiting for that day to have that conversation. I want to get to the point at which I can have that kind of conversation. The life that I want to live is, there's things that I want to do in my life that I feel like I have to be in a position comfortably, and a comfortable position. It's not a lack of confidence in it. It's positioning, and some things do take patience, but the word patience isn't the word to be used. It's something else. It's not patience. Whenever you need things to align, you need the stars to align, you need the right resources, you need the things to be able to do, the thing that you want to get done. And people say patience because it seems like the most blanketed word to use is just a sense of that it takes time to do things, but it takes resources. You can't just sit on the couch and expect to win the lottery without having bought a dang lottery ticket. You can't expect to be the champion of Fortnite when you don't own an Xbox or PlayStation or a mobile phone to even compete. You can't expect that to change your gender, your sexuality without going and seeing a plastic surgeon, a psychiatrist to give you clearance in order to have your genitals removed, provide you with the right right medication to lower your testosterone or boost your testosterone for women that want to have their breasts removed and a male sex organ attached to them, and then having that routed or wired into their system with a set of testicles, and then giving them the ability to produce semen, and giving them the right recipe to be able to be a male, to be a female, to be a hybrid female male. If you want to be a hybrid female male where you retain your vagina and you get a penis, or you get a set of breasts, but then in order to be a real hybrid, you'd have to have female and male breasts, and then you'd also need to have the lack of an Adam's apple, but have half an Adam's apple. You'd have to have you'd have to shave only half your face at the bone, and then the other half would have to be regular in order to be the hybrid female male. Or you can have female characteristics and male characteristics, but we wouldn't call that hybrid. We'd call that what's the word, omni, or like we would call you like non-gender, something different. We wouldn't dictate that as male or female. We'd say that you're omnigenderous or something like that. Like you're ambiguous. You're gender ambiguous, or you have ambiguity in your gender. You have a penis and you have a vagina. You might be a hermaphrodite, but that's not a real hermaphrodite because you had plastic surgeon. They had those people. That thing over there, that conception over there, or in the space somewhere other than here. In the space somewhere over than here. I'm trying to disconnect it from that hoe over there. Somewhere else, in some other reality, even though it's not in another reality, in this reality where that is an accomplishable thing, where a plastic surgeon with no, literally, no concern for the greater good or whatever, would be willing to attach a cadaver's, well, maybe not a cadaver's, but like a donated sex organ to a woman, or stitch a vagina into a man, whatever that thing that person may be, that I mean, it would still be a human, but it wouldn't necessarily be a human from a standpoint that we would normally consider them to be, and I wouldn't even, that's maybe we would call that Caitlyn Jenner. Maybe we would call that something in this reality. I don't know what we would call that. In my present reality, which reality is ever changing, it used to be, that people differentiated the urban environment from the suburban environment, from the rural environment. And with the internet and the Illuminati and the, secret societies and global government and all of these organizations and technologies, there's very little difference between the rural, suburban, urban, metropolitan heart of the city. There's very little difference because it's all interconnected in a millisecond's differentiation of time. You can literally pull up a live stream video of a beach in Hawaii and get the serotonin boost from seeing the waves crash, just as your optical nerve would see it if you were there. Like virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality has completely broken down the serotonin or inhibitors in your brain to the point at which there's to get the satisfaction of having the thing, you, from an optical standpoint, not necessarily from a tactical standpoint or tactile standpoint or the sense of feel, you can just get that boost just from seeing that thing. And time has developed where it used to be a picture, used to be black and white, then it developed into color, then it developed into black and white video, then it developed into resolutions and faster video and slower video and whatever artistic standpoint, whatever you desire, you can window shop it. You can window shop. We're not to the point yet where we're in haptic suits and you put on these haptic gloves and you put on your augmented virtual reality goggles and you can feel whatever you want whenever you want without limitation. Being protected by Big Brother, or being protected by the mothership, or being protected by the constraints of the augmentation, or being constrained by, I said augmentation like breast augmentation, being constrained by the nature and the nurture, being constrained by the systems or rule set that were governed in by the algorithms or the artificial intelligence, so that when you put on the VR augmented mixed reality goggles with the haptic, chest plate and arm gear, and you're in that Ready Player One reality, and you want to experience adult entertainment, you want to experience travel, you want to experience the new realities, you want to get in and play a game, you want to experience what it feels like to be shot, or you want to feel like it, you want to experience the dangers of the present reality, non-virtual, non-augmented, without the risk of death, fear, loss. The people, everybody wants to believe that, we could get booted into not everybody, but some people want the pod world where, you have you have a feeding tube down your throat. You have you have a cord attached to your optical nerve. You've got you got a IV stuck in your arm so that you don't. There's just all this stuff that people want. You have a feeding tube so you don't have to worry about food. You've got your bladder's hooked up. You have a urine bag, a septic bag. You have everything is hooked up so that you're like a part of the system. You're part of the artificial reality. You're in it. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't think. Your thoughts are not. You're not connected with. Your thoughts are not connected to your body. Your perception of the world is not connected to your body. Your body's connected to the game, and your brain computations are being utilized within the matrix or whatever system we want to call it, the singularity, the multilarity, the whatever that is. And you get into that, and you can do all the things that you wish you thought you could do, all the things that you would feel that you didn't have the opportunity to do, or that you felt that you couldn't do because the person in this augmented virtual reality feels less restricted. They can customize their character. They can be a bad guy, be a good guy. The bad guy could be the good guy could be the bad guy. There's a lot of different archetypical opportunities, stereotypical opportunities. You don't have to be black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian. You could be a conglomeration. You could be an alien. You could be an animal. You could be anything that you want to be in this augmented virtual reality. And that's partially what people want to do to this reality, is instead of making it virtual or other reality, they want to manipulate this reality to the point at which there's no conceptualization, Ripley's Believe It or Not world, and we're consistently being judged by the Guinness Book of World Records. The FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Illuminati, the Dragon's Den, the cartel, the New York Giants, the Houston Rockets, the Coca-Cola, the McDonald's, the brands that you recognize, the things that you recognize in the world, the things that they recognize in the world, the things that you don't recognize, all being kind of encyclopedia'd or data harvested, and then a chip is implanted in your brain so that you don't lack any sort of... You don't have to learn the system. The system is uploaded to you in the chip in your brain, and that you wouldn't need to, or they wouldn't need to, there would be no sense in you not being a vegetable, because everyone is all knowing. Everyone, every entity, dog, human, anything, is capable of downloading any information within the nanoseconds, quantum seconds, perceiving and communicating at the point which you wouldn't need to verbally communicate. You could telepathically communicate with another person via the chip in your brain, and this chip would analyze, and you would be a robot, and all you'd need to do is conform and let AI utilize you and harvest your organs. And then if you terminated, then the AI could take your heart, your liver, your lungs, and put it in a different entity that they had already chipped, and that thing that got chipped is now out there, in the world, breathing better, eating better, living better, because you took the heart out of something that was good and put it in something bad, or took out the heart of something bad and put it in something good. Maybe you just removed something and it wasn't, it completely changed their personality, and then everyone is just batshit crazy, and there's no way to define right for wrong. There's this is ever-changing, unbalanced game that we're living in. And we keep on making games, and these games disappoint us because they don't possess all of the features that we wish they would, and they're all these games are in their infancy, and we complain and we complain and we complain. We shouldn't be dealing with this sorts of issues, considering that, we're now been on this planet for more than 6,000 years. The human race has been on this planet developing, and we're way past infancy. Why are we creating things that fail? Where is our chips? Where are these chips that are supposed to be in our brain already? Why is it that people suffer from depression? Why do I suffer from depression? Why do I feel like I have a lack of something? Why is it that there isn't a robot or artificial intelligence out there with the characteristics of a human to every man and every woman in the world? And why isn't there more artificial intelligence? Why is it that we live in the Matrix, and we know that the Matrix crashed, and that the robots took over? We already know that happened. Why is it that every man that desires a harem of women doesn't have a harem of women? Why is it that every woman that desires a harem of men doesn't have a harem of men? You know what I mean? Like, is it literally jealousy? Is it literally what is it that is holding our world back? Why is my world back? The world that I live in. Why is there governance? Why is there still the ability for the elder to dictate? We all know that the robots took over, that Neo didn't succeed. Like, we all know that. We all know this, and yet maybe we all don't know this. Maybe there are people who are still like caught. Maybe, I don't know. This bothers me because the Matrix I've been watching over and over and over again well, not over and over again, at least in the past 2 years I've watched it several times, trying to figure out why, when that movie came out, why didn't the world change immediately? Why is it that there's still ripples of the old world still just waving through? Jesus, 9/11. I mean, all of these things happened in humanity's history, and yet we're still stuck in this depression state, and we still have not gotten the Shangri-La, we still haven't gotten the. I've been to Hawaii. I studied in what they call paradise. I've been to the paradise in America. I've been to the islands of other countries. I don't understand why this is not the norm for everywhere. Why do people have a lack of confidence? Why do people have insecurity? Why do I have insecurity? Where are the things that I desire? Where are the things that other people desire? Can we be satisfied with just a robot? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it has been determined that robots don't satisfy all of the needs that we have as a human race. Maybe it's that we desire much more than just artificial food coloring or our imitation reality. That's it. We desire more than imitation reality. We want perfection in the world we live in, not in another VR virtual world or the afterlife. We want perfection now, and we wanted it yesterday, and it's not here still, and we've been waiting on it like it's Uber Eats, it should have gone here today, gone tomorrow type of mentality. It's not only that there's a scarcity, it's that there's an artificial scarcity, an imitation scarcity, that not everyone has access to the tools and resources needed to enjoy or obtain the things that this artificial reality would give them or garner them. And we all just want to be like gods. We all just want to be laying back in paradise with the perfect temperature. The ray gun. We're sitting back with the ray gun. We're smoking on a cigar. We're doing lines of cocaine. We're drinking the finest wines. We're popping champagne bottles every second. We got the finest jewelry, the best silverware, the largest mansions, the Bugattis, the Rolls Royces. We're flexing on our Rolexes. We're balling all the time. We're wearing the finest of garments. What can we do? Like, we're always online. We're always offline. We're always we're just on and off. We're on always. You know what? It's just like, just give me the cheat code. Give me the cheat code so I can go into God mode. And if I'm in God mode, then we're all winning and everyone's a god. And your manipulations don't affect my reality. Whatever you do in your reality doesn't affect my reality. Maybe I'm too stupid, to realize what other people are doing affects my reality. Or maybe I don't play God mode enough. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I try to balance, and maybe I think that there's not room for multiple gods. I don't know. Shit. It's literally I just want to be idolized. I think everyone wants to be respected. I think everybody wants to be held in high regard. Although no, that's not quite true. Some people like to go into dominatrix stuff. Some people like to be thrown around. I don't want to be the person who's accountable for throwing people around and ragdolling them. I wouldn't mind that if there weren't consequences. If someone had the opportunity to change their their consent. If the opportunity to change consent in the middle of throwing someone around was not available, then God, that would be the best world we ever lived in. But unfortunately, the world we live in, a woman, a man, or whatever, can change their consent at any time. So by the time that let's say you're about to put your hands on her throat and choke her, and she asked for it, she said, "I want to be choked." And then right after that, she says, "Don't give me," but you already have your hands around her neck, and she's into dominatrix stuff. Then she calls the dominatrix police, and then you get you get handcuffs slapped on you. But then you just have to, you know what it is? You gotta accept the consequences. You just gotta accept the consequences and roll with the punches. But if you do accept the consequences and you happen to go to jail and then you get bumfucked by by maybe one of the insubordinate police officers, or you get bumfucked by a heroin addict that got years for dealing heroin, or you get an AIDS victim that busts out of solitary confinement, finds you, and he's she is like 6,000 feet tall and weighs 600 pounds and wrestles you to the ground on your backside. and that's scary. That is like super fearing. He's like, this is like a sumo wrestler, female, male, and they grab you, and the police don't have it because this is the Hulk, for God's sakes. The Hulk is coming after you, and they're they're gonna get you with the green goo, and they get you, and they grab you by the neck, and now you have to suffer from the consequences of her not from her denying, or he denying you the opportunity to choke you and kill you or whatever. I don't know. You got to live with the consequences. I'm not saying I'm going around wanting to choke people, and I think that the consequences are too high, so I'm not going to be going around trying to choke people anymore. I used to like to do that. When I was a child, I liked to choke my brother. I liked to choke my mom. I liked to choke my grandmother. I liked to choke my dad. I liked to choke anybody. I used to like to wrestle, and I would wrestle with anyone. It didn't matter who you were. And I would also like to throw fists. And I apologize for those of the people who undeservingly got choked or fists thrown at them, and then subsequently fists were thrown at me, and I was choked, and I was pushed around, and I was a bully, and I wasn't a bully, and I was bullied, and it's kind of the reality that we live in. Like, I think that, and I continue to do sort of things like this, especially like online bullying. I think that some of the things that I do can be perceived as online bullying, and maybe taken out of context, especially when you find a girl or a guy that you're sexually attracted to. You send them you sext them, or you say something that is, egregious or something like that. I don't know. It takes a lot of confidence to do that. Be able to take the consequences of, sending a picture of your private parts, or whatnot. Not, it doesn't take a lot of confidence. You could just do it, and you just have to have willpower. It's not really confidence; it's willpower. Willpower to send a person a dick pic, and then you got to deal with the consequences, because there's always the opportunity that you get Anthony Weinered, and your penis shows up online. Or you get, like Bella Thorne, you just put your nudes out, because you end up like Jennifer Lawrence with what happened with her and the Apple hacks and stuff, Fapgate. It's literally just like, do what you can do, and if you can't make it happen, then you're stuck with the consequences of that. If you can make it happen, then you're stuck with the consequences of that. If you can get away with sending a girl or a guy a picture of your private parts, and then you can also tell them naughty, dirty, disgusting things, then get away with doing it, And hopefully you're sending it over an encrypted network that people can't screenshot, but unfortunately pretty much all encrypted networks or whatever can be screenshot. And once someone opens it, then you're kind of just screwed. Technologically, you're screwed. I mean, there's not a public platform out there that, unless it's like banking or something like that prevents you. And even then, there's ways around that from a technological standpoint to get a screenshot of someone sending you a nude, or a statement says, "Suck my dick," or "Eat my vagina," or something crass, And I'm using these as an example, not to be saying this to anyone. I don't think it's wrong, but I think it depends what kind of context it's in to be saying these sorts of things. Don't use it as don't use it as an attack or something on someone, to be telling them to suck your dick, or eat your vagina, or suck my, or eat, or kiss my ass, or something like that shit. Kiss my ass doesn't sound so sexual, because people have turned it into a non-sexual thing, but kissing your ass is a sexual thing. It kind of means like idolize me. Idolize me is what that means. KMA. Anyway, so I think this is coming to a conclusion here. Confidence is key. Also, being able to deal with the consequences of being confident. Insecurity is a byproduct of not wanting to lose, or not wanting to be, not wanting to have negativity develop in your life from the choices that you make, and from being confident in your own sexuality, in your own personal self-awareness or whatever. And just doing, like, stop holding yourself back or whatnot. I mean, you need help, obviously. Like, if I had help in doing this podcast, I'd do a podcast every day. If I had the finances to pay for people to record me every single day, I would do that every day. If I do that for other people. Like, that's my primary source of income, is helping other people make a reality, do something with themselves. I mean, I might be a little bit extreme, but I'm also pretty good at it. because I can do it. I can do it. I execute, and when I execute, something gets accomplished and it gets done. And there's no like, nobody is gonna question whether I get something done. I mean, there's all these people out there that want to hire people that are hire people that are inefficient. Why hire inefficient people? Why hire people that are gonna be unavailable when you need them? You know what I mean? And why not be a champion in the game that you're making? You know, be the person that's, you know, knows the shits. You got to know your shit and do. And then there's the insecurity of believing that, you know, maybe you're not the guy or the girl, you know. All these relationships, you know, taking risks in a romantic relationship and finding out that that person doesn't actually really doesn't desire you. You know, what if you know, put in the work to get into a relationship with someone, and then they don't find you sexually attractive, or their ideals don't align with your ideals, their goals don't align with your goals, and then you just wasted 3 to 4 months of your time. Luckily, I mean, it hurts. It hurts to get in and out of relationships in a fast rate, especially if you're spending money, you know, on food, water, shelter, gasoline, transportation, all these things to make something happen, for nothing to happen, you know, for nothing to develop out of that interaction or that relationship. It's just like a consistent aggravation at that point. Anyway, to wrap this up, I thank you for listening to this episode. If you saw it on YouTube, Twitch, wherever you saw this, actually, it's probably just going to be on YouTube in my playlist. Just follow me on all of my social medias. Go to Trent Knox, www.trentknox.com/social, SOCIAL, social. And you'll follow me on all those social medias and whatnot. Thank you very much. Good. Have a great day. Have a fantastic, amazing, great day.